So here's how this works. A dude in a bee suit does his version of a sermon in the form of a poem. And people very immediately see that this is heretical, that this is a false teacher, that he's in a bee suit because he might not be mentally stable. And then an ELCA pastor gives her version of a sermon, and people somehow treat this as worthy of debate and discussion. Let's play a little game. Who's the worst heretic? We'll do this in a second. There's a lot of seemingly heretical information regards healthcare in this world. For instance, people have said to me when I go to Mexico for stem cell treatment, stem cells only from umbilical cords, here's some of the heretical things. Like, you go to Mexico? You know we do stem cells up here. Yeah, I know that there's something called an allograft, which is stem cells from whomever, shipped from wherever, stored for however long, with whatever potency they have left whenever they're put in my arm or leg or knee or back, untested. Yes, I know that's possible. I also know that at Renew.Healthcare in Mexico, from the very beginning, where they pay for the birth process of the mother, they monitor the health of the mother and the baby. I know that they reject stem cells that do not have the qualities they need. I know that sometimes it's up to 80% they reject, not because they're bad, because they're not active enough. I know that they take the very, very best stem cells and they culture them. They multiply them. I know that the morning I go get my treatments there, I know that they have checked the stem cells for quality that morning in a world-class lab that is one step below a biocontainment lab. I know you can watch this process occur. I know they've got the largest hyperbaric chamber in North America. I know that they prescribe hyperbaric treatments for you and things like Myers drips and NDN treatments. I know they do all these things predicated upon what you need. I know they decide how many stem cells you need based upon years of success. I know they've solved neurological issues. I know there's been people who couldn't walk when they went to Renew and came out walking. I know there's people who couldn't use their hands and came out using their hands. I know that I did a workout this past week that would have killed my back. I would have been sore for days. It would have been clicking audibly across the gym over the top of the bad gym music. I know that I'm only 3 months since treatment. I'm not even through the tissue building stage, which doesn't wrap up for another 3 months. And I know the success I've had. It's not heretical. It's because the biopharmaceutical complex up here does not want you to know about Renew, but now you do. Go ask them if they can help you. It's Renew, RENUE.healthcare. That's RENUE.healthcare. Now, let's play the game. Who is the worst heretic, ladies and gentlemen? Bee-suit dude.
Jesus was from Palestine. He was Palestinian. His skin was brown, he wasn't blonde, and he hated capitalism. Jesus was from Palestine, and please let it be known that he was Palestinian from birth till he was grown. And when he died upon the cross, look to him from the pew. He screamed to all humanity, "You know not what you do." Jesus was from Palestine. His one and only order was to love each other regardless of race, creed, or border.
Well, I'm at a loss as to how to confront that. Because he said a lot there, and there's no evidence that he... Pardon? Hold on. Oh, yes, right, the book of Matthew. Right, so the book of Matthew goes through Jesus' genealogy. He was Jewish. He was as Jewish as people get. He was not Palestinian. He was not a Philistine. He was Jewish. He came from a Jewish family on both sides of the family. He came from the line of King David, as was presaged in all of the prophecies, and there's many, many other prophecies he fulfilled. The book of Matthew makes this incredibly clear, and we could go through it, but then we have to do the begot. Can't do the begots. And Jesus' only order was to love your neighbor as yourself without regard to what, at borders? That wasn't his only order. He did say love your neighbor as yourself, but he said something else before that. Love the Lord your God with your entire heart, mind, soul, and strength. And love your neighbor as yourself. His only order? No. Jesus had a whole series of orders, beginning with the one we're going to talk about next. Not beginning with, but in fact, maybe most importantly. See, that's heretical, but it's obvious. B-suit dude is a heretic. B-suit dude wants to create fake Jesus. He's creating the, not the gaslighting version, the catfishing version of Jesus. That's not a real Jesus. So let's go to a real so-called pastor, an ELCA pastor. Who's the worst heretic? Here's an ELCA pastor. Didn't B-suit dude say something about Jesus only given one command?
Now, I think we still need to do it carefully. I think we still need to do it respecting other people's cultures. I think we still need to do it without dominance and force. I think we still need to do it respecting consent if there are people who do not want us to tell them. I think that there are people who are perfectly happy in other faiths who do not need converted to ours. I think there are people who are perfectly happy with no faith at all, and I don't think we're doing them any favors if they don't believe in God. I don't think we're doing them any favors by jumping on top of them and telling them they're wrong.
So what she's saying here is that what Jesus said in Matthew chapter 28, verses 16 through 20 was this. Then Jesus came to them and said, all authority in heaven and earth has been given to me. Therefore, unless it bothers people or makes them uncomfortable, or you think you shouldn't, or maybe it's not a right time for you, or you weren't gifted this way, give some thought to going and making disciples and teach them. Go and baptize them in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, or whomever, Allah, whatever you like, and teach them to think about doing some things that are similar to what I've done, if it feels okay to them. For I am with you always, even until Sunday. So that's a slight misreading of an order Jesus Christ gave. In Matthew chapter 28, verses 16 through 20, Jesus Christ spoke the following words. All authority in heaven and earth has been given to me. Therefore, this is a purpose clause. Because this authority has been given to me, because of that, go and make disciples of all nations. Yep, cross borders, like B-Dude said. Baptizing them in the name of the Father, of the Son, and the Holy Spirit, and teaching them to obey everything I have commanded you. And surely I'm always with you, even to the end of the age. All I have commanded you. Forgive. How often should I forgive? Peter asked him. 7 times 7 times. That's a commandment. There's a whole series of commands Jesus gave. It wasn't just love your neighbor as yourself. Who's the worst heretic? Because she gets to call herself a pastor, because the ELCA church has allowed herself to live under their wings, because she has a flock who thinks they're listening to a pastor, not a B-suit poet, I would regard her as the worst heretic, and I would pray fervently for her soul, because I feel like she's flirting with blaspheming the Holy Spirit, because Jesus Christ gave a commandment to make disciples, and she's saying only if it feels right. I think we should pray for her. It's not a close contest. When you've been given the authority to be a teacher, you've been given much. And to whom much is given, much is expected. And Jesus had very specific warnings for false teachers.